AWS Study Notes. Subject, Amazon Web Services. Module, Q&A. Chapter, AWS Flashcards.
Question. Amazon Glacier is designed for dash and dash. Answer. Infrequently accessed data and data archives.
Question. This type of storage is a device like a RAM disk physically attached to your virtual server, and characteristically it gets completely wiped every reboot. Answer. Your ACT2 instance.
Question. This type of storage is suitable for temporary storage, but nothing that needs to survive something as simple as a reboot. Answer. ACT2 instance.
Question. Dash is a service where you buy devices more akin to a hard disk that can be attached to one, and only one at the time of writing, EC2 instance. Answer. AWS, Elastic Block Store.
Question. This storage option is best for storing your EC2 server images, Amazon Machine Images aka AMIs, static content, for example for a website, input or output data files, like you views an SFTP site, or anything that you'd treat like a file. Answer. S3.
Question. You configure DLB to perform health checks on these EC2 instances. If an instance fails to pass health checks, what can we assume the ELB will do? Answer. The ELB stops sending traffic to the instance that failed its health check.
Question. These two items handle replacement of instances when they are configured. Then when an instance fails the health checks, presumably because it is down, it is these two items that will decide whether we now need to add another server to compensate. Answer. Auto-scaling group and launch configuration.
Question. A dash tells AWS how to stand up a bootstrapped server that once up is ready to do work without any human intervention. Answer. Launch configuration.
Question. This tells AWS where it can create servers, which launch configuration to use, the minimum and maximum allowed servers in the group, and how to scale up and down. Answer. Auto-scaling group.
Question. You are building a system to distribute confidential training videos to employees. Using CloudFront, what method could be used to serve content that is stored in S3, but not publicly accessible from S3 directly? Answer. Create an origin access identity known as UA for CloudFront and grant access to the objects in your S3 bucket to that UA.
Question. You can restrict access to S3 content by creating a special CloudFront user called. Answer. Origin Access Identity, OAI. You restrict access to Amazon S3 content by creating an Origin Access Identity, which is a special CloudFront user.
Question. An AWS account can have up to -CloudFront Origin Access Identities. Answer. 100.
Question. These two actions will occur when an EC2 instance in a VPC, virtual private cloud, with an associated elastic IP is stopped and started. Answer. All data on instance store devices will be lost. A very abstract answer. The underlying host for the instance is changed.
Question. True or false elastic IPs are sticky until reassigned. Answer. True elastic IPs are sticky until the instance or volume they are associated with is deleted.
Question. AWS devices are of EC2 instances and by default them, unless configured otherwise. All data on instance storage however will be lost, and also on the root /dev/sda1 partition of S3 backed servers. Answer. AWS devices are independent of EC2 instances and by default outlive them, unless configured otherwise. All data on instance storage however will be lost, and also on the root /dev/sda1 partition of S3 backed servers.
Question. In the basic monitoring package for EC2, Amazon CloudWatch provides the following metrics. Answer. Hypervisor visible metrics such as CPU utilization, and Amazon needs to know this anyway to provide IaaS, so it seems natural that they share it.
Question. Which is an operational process performed by AWS for data security? Answer. Decommissioning of storage devices using industry standard practices.
Question. To protect S3 data from both accidental deletion and accidental overwriting, you should. Answer. Enable S3 versioning on the bucket.
Question. S3 versioning means. Answer. S3 versioning means that all versions of a file are kept and retrievable at a later date, by making a request to the bucket, using the object ID and also the version number. The only charge for having this enabled is from the fact that you will incur more storage. When an object is deleted, it will still be accessible, just not visible.
Question. Define a placement group. Answer. A placement group is a logical grouping of instances within a single availability zone.
Question. Using these types of groups enables applications to get the full bisection bandwidth and low latency network performance required for tightly coupled, node-to-node communication typical of high-performance computing, HPC, on AWS. Answer. Placement groups.
Question. For databases used in production or pre-production, you should consider two options. Answer. Multi-OS deployment for high availability and provisioned IOPS for fast, consistent performance.
Question. For relational database, the setting of provisioned IOPS storage does what? Answer. Provides fast, consistent performance.
Question. For a DB instance, the default setting for minor upgrades is set to. Answer. Yes, allow auto minor version upgrades.
Question. What three things must you provide the DB instance during setup? Answer. The DB instance identifier, the master username, the master password.
Question. In DB management options, what options exist and what are they set to on default? Answer. Enable automatic backups, set to yes on default, and backup retention period, the daily time range which automated backups are created. If automated backups are created is default set to 1 day, the backup window is set to no preference, the weekly time range.
Question. Dash is a web service that gives you access to a dash that can be used to store messages while waiting for a computer to process them. This allows you to quickly build message queuing applications that can be run on any computer on the internet. Answer. Amazon SQS is a web service that gives you access to a message queue that can be used to store messages while waiting for a computer to process them. This allows you to quickly build message queuing applications that can be run on any computer on the internet.
Question. If you choose to delete a DB instance on the management console, what question might you be asked in regards to backups? Answer. You will be asked if you wish to create a final snapshot.
Question. If you choose not to create a final snapshot for a DB instance, what will happen to the automated snapshot associated with the instance? Answer. The automated snapshot will be deleted.
Question. Dash instances allow us to optimize processing costs, and Dash allows us to orchestrate the process in a distributed and asynchronous manner, and Dash facilitates the storage of intermediate and final processing results. Answer. Spot instances plus SQS plus S3 equals magic. Spot instances allow us to optimize processing costs. Amazon SQS allows us to orchestrate the process in a distributed and asynchronous manner. Amazon Simple Storage Service, S3, facilitates the storage of intermediate and final processing results.